Magic water, can I? Whoa, is this water? Whoa, is this water? What is this?
Magic water.
Magic water, can I try one please? Oh, it's just a kid working, wow. What's your name, bro? Ken? Thank you, Ken. How much? 10? Okay. Thought this was regular water, but it's called magic water. Okay. Wow, that's incredible. It's really good. You can taste a little bit of coconut in here. I don't know about the ice in there. I don't know if it's safe. This is really good. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Whoa.
Something is coming to touch.
Well, I'm on a green screen. Sure hope no one takes advantage of the fact that it would be easy to put me anywhere. Look at this dance. Where am I dancing? I don't know. What size am I in this world? Where am I laying? What am I grabbing? I don't know. Probably something normal. Well, that is unexpected. Be sure to tag me in whatever monstrosity you create, you monsters. Well, I'm on.
Let me drive to the left, to the right, 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 to the left,
You done made this shit. Homer let the bards out.
Homer let the bards out.
He opened up the door.
Mum said if you get her one more bad present,
Yeah,
she'll burn it.
right.
So I'm thinking we should get her a candle. Mum,
Mama, what? Mama, what? I don't wanna go to school. Why? Cause I'm gonna break the rules. Why? I can't even read books. Why? Cause I don't want a 2 + 2. Why? I just wanna eat food. Why? Teachers say I'm too rude. Why? Mama, cause I'm too cool. No, you're going to school. Mama, what?
Uh-oh, I'm in front of a blue screen right now. I sure hope nobody edits me into weird places. Oh, where am I running right now? What am I touching? What am I licking? You are so cooked, bro. Why would you do that? What do you mean I'm cooked? Uh-oh, I'm in...
Something is coming to.
Don't even sub and like. Also, spam up 10 if we're gonna make it to the end. And
God doesn't care if you're mad or angry. I know that through prayer.
sometimes I look at my videos and think people don't know what's behind the screen.
World Cup's over, I'm so sad. Let me tell you about the month we had. Spain won and I'm so glad. Argentina made us mad. Hydration breaks, VAR. Cabo Verde made it far. Bosnia became a star. Bellingham, red card. Ronaldo, Neymar done. Norway, Holland had a run. Hey Jude, it was fun. So close, they almost won. Mbappe won the golden boot. 10 goals, he scored a ton. 48 teams started. At the end, there's only one. Mexico had a dub. USA, what's up? FIFA want them bucks, Egypt like, what the? We so together, not divided. Like follow, don't fight it. 2030 next, I'm so excited. World Cup's up.
Uh-oh, I'm in front of a... Hey, Mario!
Hello, Mario.
Mama!
Hey, Stinky!
Hey, Mario!
Hello, Mario.
Mama!
Hey, Stinky!
Something is coming to touch you in 3 days.
Hey, yo!
This man's village had no electricity, so he decided to build an entire power plant from scratch. John Majiro started with a wooden turbine, which he placed in running water. It generated 0.5 watts, enough for one small bulb. But John had to go bigger. That's when he looked at the huge river running through his village and had an idea. If he could direct the water to spin a bigger turbine, he could generate serious amounts of electricity. So he got to work, raising and selling rabbits to generate enough money to buy a car alternator, which he connected to a turbine and placed in the river to generate electricity. And it was a success, generating over 24 watts, allowing him to power over 15 homes in the village. But John wasn't done yet. He then entered a WWF Net Fund competition, which he won, getting over $10,000. This allowed him to upgrade all his parts and build a real working hydroelectric plant. And when it started running, the whole village couldn't believe their eyes, with it generating over 700,000 watts, giving power to over 3,000 people, 16 local schools, and even an entire tea factory, changing his community's lives forever. This man's village
How to draw a horse, draw a unicorn, and erase the horn.
And what if I don't know to draw a unicorn?
Die, potato, die.
Mom, can you send me $4? Mom, can you send me like $18? Mom, can you send me $8? Mom, can you send me $20? I'm in the mall. Mom,
In the 3rd grade, a girl 3 years older than me grabbed my shirt and shoved me face first into a locker. I felt my baby tooth crack, and Rebecca loudly popped her gum in my ear. Meet me behind the hill after school. I'm not letting you get away with shouting at me in the hallway. She pushed me to the ground and walked back to her bully friend group. I clutched my cheek shaking, because my elementary school was run by 10 girls, all 6th grade bullies. And when you're a 9-year-old boy, that is an Avengers-level threat. I thought back to Rebecca breaking my arm earlier this year, and gulped because I knew I was screwed. But when I saw them during break, taking my classmates' glasses and stomping on them, I got an idea. I waited until they walked away and came up to him while he cried on the floor. I whispered the plan in his ear, and his eyes immediately lit up. We followed them for the entire break, talking to every kid they bullied. When the final bell rang, my heart pounded, and Rebecca locked eyes with me and cracked her knuckles. See you behind the hill. I walked out, my legs shaking. But instead of going up to them, I climbed to the top of the hill. Rebecca's eyes widened as she yelled, "Are you ignoring us? We're breaking both your legs for this." The 10 of them started walking up the hill, their faces twisted and fists clenched, and that's when I made my move. Troops, in positions. Instantly, all 50 boys from my grade came out from behind me, standing atop the hill, including the kid with the broken glasses. Our army stared at the 10 girls. Their smiles dropped, but their eyes widened in rage. "We're still gonna beat you up." But then I pointed and yelled, "Charge!" All 50 of us began sprinting downhill. The girls' faces went pale in fear as they realized 50 mini bowling balls were rushing at them. "We're sorry," Rebecca yelled and turned to run, but it was too late. We began crashing into them, knocking them to the floor and stampeding them. I stepped on Rebecca's hair and plowed into the others, sending them to the dirt. By the time we were at the bottom, all 10 of them were crying in the mud. Their elbows were bent wrong, their hair was ripped and covered in grass, and not a single one was moving. I planted my foot on Rebecca's back and shouted, "Victory!" In the 3rd grade, a girl 3 years older than me, the kid next to me squeezed his juice pouch out across my lap and started laughing. "I'm gonna tell everyone you peed yourself." He slipped out of his seat and drifted toward the door, the pouch still crushed in his fist, and my stomach dropped. All morning, the whole school had been losing it because my favorite footballer was minutes from walking into our room, the striker whose poster hung over my bed. If he saw me like this, I'd be the P kid forever, in front of the one person I'd ever wanted to impress. I shot out of my chair after him, but he was already halfway down the hall, leaning into every kid he passed and jabbing a finger back at me. The whisper moved faster than my legs ever could, kid to kid to kid, and catching him wouldn't kill it now. So I ducked into the boys' bathroom, wet a fistful of paper towels, and scrubbed at the stain. But the dark spot only spread paler and wider, soaking deeper the harder I pushed until half my thigh was soaked. A kid shoved in to use the sink and I twisted toward the wall, but he caught the soaked leg anyway and was snickering into the hall before the door swung shut. The speaker in the ceiling crackled on, and the principal's voice rolled down the hall. "Everyone, please Please give our special guest a warm welcome. My hands started shaking against my wet leg. That's when I spotted the lost and found bin by the sink with a pair of gray gym pants sitting right on top. I yanked them out and shoved my leg in, hopping on one foot as cheering erupted through the wall. I got them buttoned and shoved through the door bone dry. The footballer was up front mid-wave. Every kid twisted around toward me, and the one who set me up saw his shot. His arm shot out, finger aimed right at me, and he screamed, "Look, he peed himself." But there was nothing there, and every head in the room swung off me and onto him, the footballers with them. Right then, the pouch in that same fist gave out, and the last of it burst down the front of his own pants. Now he was the pee kid for real, and my favorite footballer was laughing harder than anyone. The kid next to me.
Whatever you do.
I was walking home when someone grabbed me from behind and threw a bag over my head. I screamed into the fabric, but moments later, it got ripped off and I was tied to a chair. A big bald man stood over me. "Where's my $40,000? But I had no idea who he was. "You've got the wrong guy. I have 12 cents in my bank account. Let me go." His face twisted. "I remember your face from the casino. You're not leaving without giving me my money." But I remembered I had my mom's medication in my bag. I yelled, "I need to go home. My mom needs her medication. She can't even walk without her cane." But he scoffed. "I don't care about your mom. You've got until tonight to get me my money, or you're dead." I had no way to get that money, so the second he left the room, I yanked at the rope around my wrists to escape. I twisted and pulled until my skin burned, and one hand started slipping free. But then the door swung open, and he stared right at my wrists, his fists clenched. Trying to escape? I expected him to kill me, but instead, he said, "Your mom needs you home? As a matter of fact, I'll go get her. If I have her captive, you won't try to run again." I screamed, begging him not to as he walked out. But moments later, he came back, pulling my mom by the arm. She leaned on her cane, tiny and shaking. He laughed. She didn't even fight because she's so weak. She walked right out to my car. He pulled her closer. "You've got 1 hour, or you're both dead." Tears streamed down my face. I couldn't give him anything, and now my mom was going to die because of me. "I'm so sorry, Mom." But then she grabbed her chest and collapsed to the floor. I screamed, "Mom!" The bald man's face went confused. "Please help her. She's sick and weak." He rushed over and bent down to check on her. But then her hand tightened around her cane, and she swung it straight into the back of his head. He dropped, and she slipped the loose rope off my wrists and pulled me up. I was shaking as she dialed 911. "Mom, I thought you were too weak to fight," she smiled. He bragged that I didn't fight him, but I didn't fight because I needed him to bring me to you. Then I could take him down myself. Then she whispered, "Also, your dad is the one who owes him the $40,000. I gasped because my dad and I have the same face, and we're both brokies. I was walking home. A star shot over our backyard telescope, and I grabbed my big sister's pinky. "Promise you'll fly me to see the stars one day." She wrapped her pinky around mine. "Fake sick tomorrow so we don't have to go to school. And while Mom's at work, we're gonna build a rocket together." I nodded. "Okay, sis." The next morning, as soon as Mom left for work, we tore the house apart. I threw cushions into the yard for crash seats. My sis grabbed dryer hose for fuel, and we both carried out armfuls of tinfoil. She cut me a crooked porthole, and I drew a star on the side so we'd know which rocket was ours up in the sky. She taped crepe paper flames across Mom's box fan, and when she hit the switch, the engine roared like real fire. I tapped her. "Do you think the stars will melt my sneakers?" She went quiet and double knotted my laces instead of answering. At 2:45 p.m., 15 minutes before our mom would be home, we carried our contraption into the square my sister had chalked in the driveway. A garden and a flame ripped out of the engine, and her hands shook the whole time she taped it back. Mom's car turned onto our street, and sis grabbed my helmet strap. "Get in!" She cranked the engine and dove in next to me, and I counted us down with my teeth rattling. At 0, the flames roared, but the driveway stayed right where it was, and my heart started sinking. "Why aren't we flying?" My sister handed me a melatonin sleep pill. "This is the flying part. Astronauts sleep through takeoff. Close your eyes. Take this. It's magical." I listened to her, and within 5 minutes I was fast asleep in our rocket contraption. In my dream, the rocket came to life, and me and my sis shot through the sky into space with our arms out, and she took me to land on the stars. Somewhere far away, I heard Mom's car door, and a blanket came down soft over the both of us. A star shot. The defending skateboarding champ snatched my homemade deck and snapped it clean over his knee. "Just go home, bro, and save us the embarrassment of watching that thing snap again." I grabbed the broken chunk and stood up. "I'm still skating today." I lined the breakup on the curb and taped it tight over a fat line of glue, because that busted deck was the only board I had. Nate crouched down and flicked the tape. 20 minutes before the comp, and you think that holds? One clean run was all I needed to shut him up. Nate went straight to the judge's table. "That board's tape and glue. It's a hazard." The head judge turned it over. "Homemade It's legal, but it's one run, and if it comes apart, that's on you. I took my deck back off the table. It'll hold. Nate grinned and jerked his chin at the packed bowl. When it snaps, everybody watches. Mid-jam, he raked his wheel across my seam and peeled the tape half off. I pressed the split shut till it grabbed. Then Nate bombed the long rail for an untouchable score. The only trick big enough was that rail. I dropped in and rode the rail out ugly, the torn seam holding just long enough to land it. I held the plywood out to Nate. You said it's the legs, not the board. Beat me on that. He grabbed it and grinned at the crowd. Easy. He dropped in, and halfway across the rail, the board split in two, right where he'd raked it. He slammed onto his back, and the bowl went dead quiet. A judge grabbed my wrist and threw it up. First, Nate came off the ground and snapped his own board clean over his knee. I dropped my two halves on his. You wanted to watch that thing snap again. The defending... When I was homeless, I'd sit by the same store on my dirty mattress and tie a string to the door handle to open it for every shopper whose hands were full. I thought it was a harmless way to distract me from the hunger. But one afternoon, a mom came out with a baby on her hip and carrying 4 grocery bags. I opened the door for her like always, and she smiled at me like I was actually a person. I gasped in shock, and she stepped back in fear. I don't have any cash, I laughed. I don't want your money, I just want to feel human again. She just walked away, and I thought I'd never see her again. But every morning, she'd bring me a Boston cream Dunkin' Donut and drink her coffee with me. But after a few months of this, she came empty-handed and grabbed my money cup. I watch you open the door for everyone that passes. No one ever gives you money for it, but you still do it. Why? I shrugged. I told you, I just want to feel like a human. She pointed at the hotel across the road. I managed the Grandview Hotel. My doorman just quit. She held out a card with both hands. You've been interviewing for this job every morning. You just didn't know it. She took out a piece of paper with the job offer on it. $25 an hour, 5 days a week, plus free housing at the hotel. My first shift, I stood at the Grandview's front door in a uniform with my name stitched on it, and she was holding 2 Boston creams. She handed me one and walked inside, and I pulled the door open wide for the next stranger whose hands were full. When I was homeless, I'd sit by the
I was rocking back and forth on my best friend's rocking horse when it threw me across her bedroom. When I looked up, her brother was in the doorway holding a screwdriver, grinning like he'd been waiting for me to do that all afternoon. I gasped because he'd loosened it and stayed to watch me fall. My best friend Allie went red, and I followed her as she stormed down the hall shouting for their mom. He unscrewed her horse. She could have cracked her head. Their mom didn't look up from her phone. Boys like to have fun. And anyway, he wouldn't do that. Were you two jumping on it again? Her brother leaned on the wall laughing. It's a baby toy. She's just clumsy. Allie slid down the wall and cried into her knees. It's always like this. He does something and I get blamed. I'm sorry. I told her it wasn't her fault and called my mom. Can you come get me? Right now. 20 minutes later, my mom walked into their home unannounced in a full black suit, and their mom shot up. Who are you? My mom didn't answer. She found the wooden horse and picked it off the floor. Your son took this apart so my daughter would fall. She turned it over. 6 screws in this base. He took out 4. Enough to drop her, almost enough to get away with it. She turned to their mom. Your daughter cried on that floor, and you asked what she did. He didn't do this because he's a boy. He did it because you've never once told him no. She held her hand out to him. Give it to me. He looked to his mom, but she stared at the carpet, so he set the screwdriver in her hand. She crouched to his level. You're not clever, funny, sneaky, or anything else your friends tell you. You're just protected. She turned her back on him and knelt in front of my friend. He does this a lot? My friend nodded, and the tears came. Always. My mom held her face in both hands. I believe you. She screwed it back together. Go on. We climbed on and rocked it as hard as we could, and it held. The favorite kid finally lost, and his mom couldn't say a word. He watched from the doorway, alone, as we rode the horse he'd rigged to drop me. I clutched my aching jaw in the schoolyard, groaning because of my toothache. I had 2 loose teeth and cavities forming in both of them, but mom didn't have the money to take me to a dentist, so I'd been suffering a toothache in silence for weeks. During lunch, the pain got so bad I started crying, and that's when my bully Nelson walked over, pounding his fists and grinning. I shook my head. Please not today, Nelson. I've already got a toothache. But he got in my face and narrowed his eyes. Show me. I paused and gulped. What? Show me your toothache. I won't ask again. I gulped and opened my mouth, expecting him to laugh at my loose and cavity-filled teeth like everyone else. But Nelson just smirked. I see, and immediately punched me in the face right where those teeth were. They fell out and I doubled over, gripping my face in pain. I was about to cry when suddenly I realized my toothache was gone now that my sore teeth were out. The only thing sore was my face. I stood up. Nelson, my toothache is gone. He smiled. Nothing gets to bully you except me. He walked away. Anyway, we're married now. I clutched my aching jaw in the schoolyard, groaning because of my toothache.